Welcome to the New Year's 2018 edition of Free Your Inner Guru. I'm your host, Laura Tucker. Before we get rolling, I want to wish you a very happy new year from my heart to yours. In today's podcast, we're going to take a look back at 2017, the year the Free Your Inner Guru podcast was born. 2017 was an eventful year, full of contrast. Love it or loathe it, I think we can agree that 2017 was confronting and challenging. In 2018, I believe we can expect more of the same, which means there is no turning back on this global journey we have begun. This morning, I spent some time journaling as I do around every New Year's. I want to share with you some of my thoughts as I look back, not just on last year, but on the past decade, and what became apparent as we move forward into the year I'm calling the Great 2018. 2018 has to be great for somebody. It might as well be great for you. I wrote these words in my journal this morning. Every year around New Year's Day, I sit down and I take a look at the last year. And this morning, I extended that back to the last decade because I see a number of patterns that are repeating in my personal life and also the global life that I believe that because they've happened before, we can learn from. So what's my goal with today's New Year's edition of Free Your Inner Guru? My goal is a message of hope, a message of courage, a message of perspective, and a message of personal power. I want you to be able to pick up your sword of your personal power, your inner guru, and to be able to wield it with confidence in the year that is coming. Because if it is truly going to be a great 2018, we just want to make sure that it's great for you. I'm a big believer in the wisdom to be found in patterns, whether they're patterns of behavior, personality, patterns of history. And this morning, I found my mind going back over the pattern of history. 10 years ago, we were just heading into the Great Recession. At that time, I was a consultant in the automotive industry, and to keep a very long story short, the only way that I was able to maintain my value and grow my business as well as myself at that time was to continually find new things, new tools to bring back to my clients. You see, my clients were car dealers, and the automotive industry, if you'll remember, was hit extremely hard by the Great Recession. In fact, it was one of the indicators. And the people that I worked with on a day-to-day basis were affected by this significantly. Things that it's a challenging environment to begin with. Every day is full of urgency, and managing that urgency is a challenge to say the least. And doing it in an elegant, organized way was my goal with my clients. And at that time, I had just started to go down the path of personal development, self-help, spiritual journey, whatever you want to call it. And I realized pretty quickly, because I was spending a lot of time in the United States, where the recession was already well underway, that this slowdown, this hiccup in our results up north of the border was a bit more significant than I realized. And so I dug in, continued to invest in myself and my inner workings, and more importantly, brought that back to my clients to help support them from the inside out. Because what was happening out there with other people was that people were pulling back in fear and were withholding. They were withholding in the form that took was they weren't buying cars, and they were extremely reluctant to service their vehicles. And by holding back on that, if you know anything about cars and car maintenance, they were actually causing themselves over the long term much bigger problems. And our job was to do this in a way that was fair and equitable to both the customer and the business, to stay profitable and open and keep the lights on, because that's what a service department does in the automotive industry when sales go down, and to keep people in work. And this is what inspired me, motivated me. Now, at the same time, I was on this incredible personal journey where I wasn't so much struggling in business as I was in forming healthy relationships with men. I had a long-standing habit of attracting unavailable men emotionally and narcissists. Looking back, what I didn't realize then is that they could sense my very open, big heart and fed off of it. Happily, that doesn't happen anymore. But if there's anything that I want to share with you today, I wrote a note to myself 10 years ago. So I wasn't a young girl, but in many ways I was. Spiritually, I was young. I was new. I was like a puppy, just lapping it all up, trying it out, and so joyfully playing before things came crashing down a year or two after that. But here's what I would say to that younger me now, 10 years later. I would say this: you are beautiful. You deserve love. You deserve joy and prosperity. You are worth the effort. Your capacity for the full range of emotions and feeling is both a blessing and a curse. Learn how to figure out when it's serving you and when it's not serving you. You are stronger than you know. You will experience great pain, but you will transform it. Listen to that voice that comes at that higher frequency, the one where you are detached, when your thoughts are loose, when it comes unbidden. That is your inner guru. Forgive yourself for your imperfections. Allow yourself to feel good. Understand where you are vulnerable and why. Write, speak, share, meditate, move your body. Love fully, believe fully. Everything has been preparing you for now. What has your life been preparing you for? These are the questions that I want to encourage you to answer. And I also have a resource for you. You see, in December, I started to work on this program that I'll be offering online later in the new year. The Free Your Inner Guru program, it's called right now. And I started working on the first module of it. I decided over the course of the holidays that rather than keep it to myself, that I wanted to offer it to people. The document that takes people through that very first exercise of defining who it is that you will become in 2018 and beyond. And so I have an invitation for you, if you follow the link in the show notes, to come over to the website and download it. The fun name that I've given it is the Free Your Inner Guru Guidebook. And it includes a 9-step process to define your why, 2 ways to identify where you're giving your energy away, 2 tools to reclaim your power, 5 ways you can connect with your inner guru, and an action plan so that you can apply your wisdom. I can think of no better way to start the new year. In fact, that's how I started mine. It was by reviewing my own 2017 and what I intend for the Great 2018 that I put this together. So I want to share that with you here and now today on the podcast. I want to leave you with a bit of a blessing of sorts. It's something that I wrote, my New Year wish for you for 2018. May you find love and joy in your life. Have radiant health and fulfilling relationships. Open your heart to receive abundant prosperity. Go for long walks to connect to the bounty, inspiration, and guidance of Mother Earth. Feel and express gratitude as naturally as you inhale and exhale. Break free of the confines of what you fear others think of you. Let go of judgment of yourself and of others. Have a deep knowing that what you think, believe, and feel matters. Be released from the resistance of thoughts, beliefs, and feelings that no longer serve you. Find the courage to be seen and heard, especially when playing it safe and silent will lead to self-doubt and recrimination. Know the freedom of speaking your truth. Discover what you love to create. Look inside yourself to know how to respond when faced with adversity. Have a belly laugh every day, especially if no one else is around. Be playful. Travel. Show yourself as much grace and compassion as you have for others. Understand that your greatest strength lies in your greatest vulnerability. Be surrounded by people who believe what you believe to help illuminate the path that lies ahead. Live a life that is fully expressed. Take all of these wishes and share them with others so that you become the leader you want to see in the world. Happy 2018. My wish is that the new year bring you all of these wishes and more. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow the links in the show notes where you can download your free Your Inner Guru guidebook. You will also find a link to the blog article, My New Year Wish for You. Thank you for listening to the Free Your Inner Guru podcast. I know you have choice where you receive your inspiration and information. Happy Great 2018. Remember, you can become the leader you want to see in the world. Everything you need is inside of you. Your job is to bring it into the world.